I was going through my old memory box, my old jewelry box, and I found this bracelet. Do y'all remember these? Like, good times. Hi everyone, so I have to apologize for my voice. I had a bit of a bad reaction to some food I had the other night and was sort of, as such, I lost my voice. I don't mind the sort of husky kind of sound, but it does make my throat really dry, so I have my water close by. So I was originally planning to film a hair care routine video this week, which I will still do, but I got contacted by LookFantastic, which is a UK-based beauty retailer that sells a wide variety of brands. They are actually running some pretty competitive I guess sales, discounts, savings events for this holiday season. But what I'm excited about is they are actually offering you, my subscribers, an extra discount on top of the already pretty good discounts based on some of the discounts that they're offering, which are brand specific, and I'll get to all of that in a minute. But it really feels like they're trying to be competitive with some of the other big sort of multi-brand, multi-category retailers. Invited me to join their affiliate program. They offered a voucher to get some products free of charge in exchange for mentioning the sale in some content. I reached out to a few other brands that I really like to see what kind of deals they were running. So this is sort of going to be holiday savings overview, roundup, whatever you want to call it. Personally, I'm not going to be shopping Sephora holiday this year. It's been a while since I've been a Rouge, and honestly, unless you're a Rouge, the savings really are quite paltry. Like 10% off is like state tax in some states. And unless you're buying $400 or $500 worth of merchandise, the discount doesn't really feel worth it, in my opinion. So, but what will make me jump is 25, 35, 40% off. I want to make sure I'm not overlooking anything with this LookFantastic thing. So the discount is brand specific, and within those discounts, the sale dates will vary. Now, I have the sheet of all the brands that are participating in front of me. What I'm going to do is pop a spreadsheet up on the screen now with all of the brands. So the code is actually valid for an extra 10% off, and it's Chris10, which I'll put on the screen now. And that code will work only on the brands that are on that spreadsheet that I popped up. So if, you know, like they just launched Estee Lauder on the site, it won't work for that. Within that, some of these brands are having a flash sale on like one of the days for a few hours for 15% off. And I'll go ahead and pop that little chart up of all of those brands. It's only 5 brands, and Daniel Sandler, for example, is already going to be 25% off. So 40% off of Daniel Sandler, essentially. So I want to just share with you the items that I picked up with their voucher. I just got the box last night, so I've only played with some of these items like once or twice at this point, but I figured I would just give them a mention. So the first item I picked out was the Kevyn Aucoin Lash Curler, and it comes in a box like this, and it comes with an extra replacement pad. And I was in the market for a new lash curler. I've been using this Chanel one for 6 or 7 years, and it came with like 2 or 3 replacement pads, so which I appreciate, but I don't think it's the right curler for my eye shape, for my lash length. I saw a review of someone that mentioned the Kevyn lash curler opens up a lot wider than a standard lash curler, which I have noticed, which I think is really helpful to really like place the curler where you want it to go. You have more room to kind of wiggle. And then the top part of this lash curler, I'm not sure the technical term, but this top part here where they usually put the brand logo seems to be a little bit taller than the Chanel one. So it seems like it's a little bit more protective of pinching on the lids. At least when I was using it this morning, it really felt like, even though I could potentially pinch my lashes because of how close I had it to the roots of my lashes, I didn't feel any pinching or pulling. And the other thing I've noticed is that the actual rubberized piece kind of moves up and down, this sort of shaft here. It's not as pointed on the top, so it doesn't like scratch the inner corner of my eye when I go to use it, which does happen when I use the Chanel one. I really like this. This is one of those classics that people always talk about, just like the Shu Uemura. For now, I'm really, really happy with this Kevyn. And again, with that extra 10% off, 35% off, 25 up to 35% with that Chris10 code. So, and then again, keep in mind that extra 15% off, it'll take the curler down to $12.60 before tax. So not bad. Like, That's a great deal. Okay, the next item I got was the Eyeko Lash Alert Mascara, and I have always wanted to try, well, I take that back. I had a period of a few years where I didn't wear mascara at all. It just became too much of a hassle to take it off, and it just, like, my lashes are so short, it didn't feel like it was worth the time. But I started getting into mascara again, but I've been curious about trying a tubing mascara. I don't know that I've ever tried one outright. Curious about it having quite straight lashes. I don't necessarily always want to wear waterproof, although I'm not against the idea. And I like that the Eyeko mascaras are sort of in this squeezy tube, so it really feels like you can get all of the product out. Let me show you the wand here. It's not too large, which I like because my eyes are quite small, but the brush itself is curved. It's quite a black formula. I would say it's nice for giving a bit of volume, but definitely more about the like separation and kind of softness. So I'm going to keep playing with that. And Eyeko will be 40% off with that code. Next I got the Chantecaille Real Skin Eye and Face Stick. And I got this because I wanted to compare it to my Clé de Peau, which I absolutely love. I have the shade Almond in the Clé de Peau, and then in Chantecaille I have number 3. And I've gotten a few questions on the Clé de Peau, and this really is one of my favorites. It's one of those things where it's like obscenely expensive, but is also really, really, really good. So, I mean, that's coverage. I mean, you just swipe it on. I swatched them a little bit, and I do have the Chantecaille on today, and I would say the biggest difference is the finish. The Chantecaille, which is here, I would say has more of a luminous finish. Like there's a bit of sheen to it even when you blend it out. It's not a sparkle, but it's sort of like a hybrid between a stick concealer and like a highlighting concealer. I think the Clé de Peau might be a little bit better for touching up and putting on top of makeup. The downside with both the Clé de Peau and the Chantecaille is the shade range is really bad. There's 12 colors. Oh my God, yikes. I would say the biggest difference is the Chantecaille is a little bit more luminous, slightly more creamy, but maybe not as much coverage as the Clé de Peau. But again, if you're interested in Chantecaille, 35% off. Nice. Next, I got the This Works In Transit Camera Close-Up. I had heard about this for a while, and I tried their In Transit Muscle Therapy roll-on that I don't think they make anymore, but was one of my favorites. This is a sort of primer. They call it a primer, mask, and moisturizer in one. So I put this on today, and the thing I noticed is that it really smoothed my skin out the way a primer would. I'm wearing the Kosas Tinted Face Oil, and when I put it on top of this In Transit, it just like went on with like twice the amount of coverage it normally has when I'm just putting it on regular skincare. So that was interesting. I don't know if the two are related, but this In Transit definitely feels like creamy and almost like balmy in a way. Really smooths out your skin and kind of gives you this even texture with like a bit of moisture. That Eyeko is staying put. This will be nice for like saving a bit of time, kind of cutting down on products. I say as like obviously a maximalist and like piling things on. I know that a lot of people really like the This Works brand, and I like their pillow spray. It's not something I would personally pay full price for, but at 35% off, like I would consider it then, you know? Let's see, what else did I get? Ooh, I got this as well, the Goldfaden MD Bright Eyes. And this is something I hear Bart from OMG Bart talk about all the time, so I wanted to try this. I don't currently really have like a daytime eye cream. I have like some eye gels, some eye serums, some nighttime eye creams, but I wanted something that was kind of brightening, maybe slightly illuminating, depuffing, and so that's what this is aimed at. Tired eyes. Goldfaden will be 35% off with that extra 10. So I'll keep you updated on that, but I know I've actually had a few questions from y'all about favorite eye creams as well, so I'll let you know how this one goes. I think last but not least is the Philip Kingsley Elasticizer, and I've heard a lot of great things about this, and I'm getting a lot more into pre-shampoo treatments, conditioning treatments. I like that this is actually more of a pre-wash, so you put this on dry hair. It comes with this little, what do you call it, like a conditioning cap, and you put that on and that'll kind of trap the heat, really help condition the hair, and then you wash it out. I've only used this once, but it was lovely. It really made my hair feel super shiny, sleek, very glossy. You know, long-term use, it'll help to really reduce breakage and kind of build up that elasticity. So rather than snapping, your hair just kind of like stretches a little bit more. It makes sense why people like this based on my experience so far. Yeah, so those are all of the products that I selected with that voucher. I tried to get a nice variety of skincare, makeup, hair care. So I wanted to just mention a few of my other favorite products that will be part of this sale. These weren't sent from LookFantastic, these were sent by the brands. Caudalie will be up to 40% off, so I don't know what that includes or excludes yet. But I've been really liking the Vinosource S.O.S Intense Cream, and for me, Caudalie moisturizers are I've never really fallen in love with one. I've always liked them and like used them when I had them, but like I didn't feel the need to like go back for more, whereas this is probably the first one where I'm truly like, this is it for me. It's part of their Vinosource, so it's more about dehydration and quenching the skin. I know they have like their moisturizing creams in the tube. This one is definitely the creamiest and the most nourishing out of all of them. Oh, that feels so good. It almost has like a yogurty consistency, and like it really melts down and becomes like, I don't want to say slick, but it has this glide to it. And it really moisturizes my skin, like hydrates it and moisturizes it and locks it in. So this will be perfect for winter. And this is just a small size that Caudalie sent, but I would totally buy a full size with my own money. I like it that much. And it has that Vinosource scent. And then some of the other items I brought over, Algenist will be 35% off, and their Genius Lip Collagen, so good. I do like their regular liquid collagen, but this for me is really where it's at. One tip about this though is when you go to apply it, don't twist it all the way because you'll get too much product. Just give it sort of like a little nudge. My hands are so lotioned up, so it's like kind of greasy, but that way you'll get just like a minimal amount of product, and you can apply it and flip it over and use this other side to like kind of really smooth it into the lips. And I think when you do that, you get much more of that like plumping, smoothing, line filling kind of effect. But I love this. This is one of those things that when you use it under a lip balm, you really do see and feel a difference. And I've heard from a lot of people who are more religious about using this than I am, that they've seen a reduction in some vertical lines on the lips, and that their lips don't become as dehydrated as easily. So definitely a gem of a product, and I think from the Algenist line, definitely one of my favorites. Dennis Gross will be 35% off select, so I'm guessing it'll just be their regular skincare. And I wanted to mention their C+Collagen range, which is probably my favorite collection that they do. It's such a robust formula. It has tons of different forms of vitamin C that are both water and lipid soluble, stable. There's 3-O-ethyl ascorbic acid, which my skin personally really loves. And interestingly, I love the serum, but the cream is actually what I like even more. And which is odd for me because I'm not a big, it takes a lot for a moisturizer to leave an impression on me, which is again why I like the Caudalie so much. I feel like this has a pretty potent effect on my skin, even though it's quite gentle and it's a moisturizer. I guess having vitamin C in a jar, any form of vitamin C isn't ideal, but 3-O-ethyl ascorbic acid being a little bit more stable, not as easily reactive with light, I feel better about it. It doesn't bother me that it's in a jar. And the texture is a little bit more of a rich kind of cream, to be like covered in moisturizers. Between this and the Caudalie is slightly more, has more of a creaminess to it, more like a surface moisture trapping, whereas this feels like it absorbs a little bit more, like kind of plumps the skin out, but also leaves like a nice smoothing veil behind. Less viscous than the Caudalie and a little bit faster to absorb, but beautiful and truly like enlivening, antioxidant rich. It layers well with my other products, and I do think it's pretty potent for a cream. I also wanted to mention the Foreo Iris, which I love. It's one of the few skincare devices that I actually use consistently and feel like it does something. This is like an eye massager, so you turn it on and the little arms, I guess, on either side of this will kind of move up and down like that. So you basically run it along your eye and it kind of drains the fluid out, and it's got this nice sort of pointed tip, so you can really get on the inner corner of the eye. You can use it to kind of drain out some of the puffiness on the lid. I personally prefer more of a rich eye cream when I use it with this. I think that glide or like that surface slip kind of really helps the tool work better. But if you're using this in the morning and you feel particularly puffy, I really do feel that it takes the puffiness out. It kind of can make your eyes appear a little bit more lifted, especially if the eye cream has some type of film former in it. As you kind of massage it in, it just really distributes the product evenly, so you get this sort of slightly taut feeling on the skin. But I think also just because it drains some of that lymph out, you notice a little bit less puffiness, a little bit more of like a smooth texture, and it works with what you already have. I was thinking about getting the UFO device because I like that it combines the heating and the cooling and the pulsation and the light sort of all in one, sort of like all the devices you'd need in one, but they only work with their sheet masks that they sell, which it's like I want to use it with products I already have, so that's why I'm going to recommend this instead. And with Foreo, their devices, like I've charged this maybe 2 or 3 times since I've had it for years now. It just holds a charge so well. StriVectin will be 35% off. I really like this. Now, I know you're thinking like, I don't need a neck cream, I'm 25. You can just use your moisturizer, you can just use your serum on your neck, you absolutely can. But for someone who does want a neck cream because they either prefer some of the textures or the skin on their neck is different than the one on their face, or you know, you're just a beauty maximalist, this one is very nice. It has a sort of a temporary kind of firming effect in it with the silicone and sort of the, I don't know if it's polymers or film formers or what, but you do get this sort of smoother appearance and smoother feel when you apply it. I mean, I've made a dent in my jar, so if that's a brand you are interested in, it will be 35% off. 35% off Chantecaille, 40% off Eve Lom, 40% off Kevyn Aucoin with that extra 15. That's worth shopping for me, you know, versus like just a 10%, you know. All of the information for this LookFantastic sale and the extra discount will be below, and I'll also be doing an Instagram post so you can reference back to that. All right, let's continue on with some other brands. Moon Skincare is having their annual holiday savings event early this year, so it'll run the 19th through Tuesday the 24th, and that'll be 20% off with Gift Glow, I believe is the code. And I'm still loving and using these products 3 years later at this point. Not the same bottles. Moonami has been very kind in taking care of me, but yeah, still a fan. And if you're interested in learning more about the Moon products, I did do an entire brand overview video, and they actually just relaunched their Protect and Revive Moisturizer. It now has the black cumin seed that's in it is certified organic, and the Kalahari melon that they use now comes from a women's collective in Zimbabwe. I believe it's cooperative. So the percentage of each of those oils hasn't changed in the formula, but now the sourcing is just a little bit more refined. Let's see. Boy Smells is having 20% off of their core candles. So any of the black glass candles, and that I think the code is Black Candle for that, and that's the 20th through the 30th. It doesn't apply to their holiday or like the Casey Musgraves candle or any of the big ones. Keep in mind that some of these limited editions are just their regular core collection sort of in special packaging. So I brought some of my other favorites that are in the non-black packaging. Got Hinoki Fantôme, which has really grown on me. You can see I've made a pretty good dent in that. And this is a very smoky, charred wood, kind of sort of a fireplace kind of vibe. Very sexy, very kind of nighttime. And I think this is actually one of their #1 seller, if I'm not mistaken. I love Gardener. This is actually my mom's that I got for her last year. And this one is a white tea tomato. You really get that tomato, that sort of fleshy, slightly sweet kind of scent, very vegetal. And then that tea kind of comes in. It's very smooth. It just is, it smells like a very, like a warm, sunny day. Kind of relaxed, laid back, sort of Gardener. Cedar Stack might be one of my all-time favorite boy smells. Like a very soft, creamy, suede-like wood, maybe a little spice, a little cinnamon or something, but kind of mellow, bright smelling wood. Compared to the Hinoki, this one's a lot smokier, more sultry, more nighttime. Votary is offering a free full-size pillow spray, which is a $52 value with orders over $118. So I looked for some of the items that are 118 and over. So basically you could get a Super Seed Serum and then you would get a pillow spray for free, or the Super Boost Night Drops, which I also love, free pillow spray. And I love this pillow spray. To be honest, when I'm done with this, I'll probably just keep refilling it because it's so beautiful. Actually, what I like to do with this is I peel the sheets back, I spray my bed down, and then I tuck the sheets back under, so then when I go to finally get in bed, it's like crawling into like a little cloud of rose, chamomile, and lavender. So that's lovely. The Established is going to be having bundles, so they're gonna, I'm not too sure, I think the Flores cream and the Elixa Bath and Body Oil, I think, is one of the bundles. This has turned into one of my favorite body products of the year. You will be seeing this in my favorites of 2020, but I figured if they're offering a discount bundle and you've been curious about the brand and multiple products from the brand, it could be a good way to try them. Tracy Martin will be 25% off. I'm not sure if there's a code or not, but if there is, I'll include it in the description box. And I believe those dates are the 23rd of November through the 27th. And some of my favorite products from their range are the Amla Purifying Cleanser. And this is like a cleansing concentrate. So start with like wet hands. I find if I'm washing my face in the morning, I'll literally just take a pump and wet hands and cleanse my face that way. You really don't need very much of this to get it to kind of lather and properly clean your skin. And for something that does foam and does kind of froth up, this does not strip my skin. And it has a blend of, there's some lactic, malic, salicylic, papaya, and pineapple enzymes. And then there's a little bit of spearmint in here. So it has this resurfacing, smoothing, kind of invigorating quality. So it's delicious to use in the morning. Also great if you live somewhere where it's really hot and you just want a really refreshing cleanse. And then the other product that I really love, I mean, I love the firming serum. It is very special. I think it's a very well-rounded, kind of all-encompassing serum that smells great, feels great, and is purple. So I love that. But what I really want to mention for the same price, even though they're two different things, the Shakti cream is maybe my favorite product from the range because it's literally the same thing as their face resculpting cream, except it's in a 6.4 ounce bottle. So in my opinion, if you're going to spend more than $100, well, if you're going to spend more than $150 on a moisturizer, you should at least be getting a lot of it. You know, if you're talking face, neck, and chest, maybe your arms, it's nice if you want to just kind of use the same thing all over, or if you just want to, you know, have one facial moisturizer that will last you a long time because it's such a large quantity. Dead Cool is having 30% off. So I grabbed the Rocco Mint, which is my favorite from their Series 2. It's like a very green, mint jasmine gardenia kind of blend, very crisp, very, very green, refreshing. You definitely get that mint in there with that bit of jasmine. And then their milk layering fragrance, which is just basically skin musk and like a touch of some bergamot, although you can't really pick it. I can't pick it up. It sort of reminds you of like unscented lotion, and that it just smells like very clean skin. And you can layer this with maybe a fragrance that's too strong or too tenacious for you. It'll kind of calm it down. Or for a fragrance that doesn't last very long, this will give it a little bit more longevity, a little bit more of a bulk. That, and then Jordan Samuel is having 20% off. I don't think there's a code, but I think this is the first time they're doing a sale. And he just sent me their after show body cleanser, which I love. I may be one of the few people who doesn't like the after show cleanser. I've tried countless times to love it, and there's still something about it I just can't quite get into, which sucks because I want to love it, but I love this. This is something you can apply on dry skin if you have like really thick sunscreen on or body makeup and you kind of want to like double cleanse your body, if you will. Start on dry skin with this. So you would just start dry skin, then when you add water you get more of a milk, and it does rinse clean. So I think that that's $37, I want to say, before the 20%. And then the matinee cleanser I love. It's like a non-foaming, non-stripping morning time gel cleanser, a little salicylic, so it just feels very smoothing, very refreshing, non-drying. It's like one of the best morning cleansers I've ever used. So I love that, and that'll be 20% off as well. So this is, I think that's everything. I mostly wanted to mention the LookFantastic because it's such a good offer, and again, that bonus 10%, especially if you're buying multiple items or like you're investing in like a really expensive piece, that extra 10% can make a difference. So again, all of that information will be below. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below, and I'm always happy to pass along savings to y'all, especially when they're this good. So yeah, so I think that's everything. Hopefully you found this helpful, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.